What's up, guys? Welcome back to Maestrovapes. Today we are going to be wrapping a 24 gauge Kanthal Hcigar coil. Maybe we'll dual coil it, maybe we'll macro coil it, not really sure, but it'll be in the description below, that's for sure. Okay, so let's get to it. We'll take it in a little bit closer and try a different camera angle. All right? Alright, today we are building this Hcigar coil using 24 gauge A1 Kanthal wire and 0.5 Kanthal ribbon wire. Okay, so what I've done already is I have two pieces that are about the same length. They are about a foot in length each. Now I've taken the two ends and I've twisted them together so to kind of marry these two different types of wire. So I've got the flat wire twisted with the round wire, and I can go ahead and insert that twisted end into the drill here. Okay, I'll insert that in there, tighten it down, tighten up the chuck, make sure it's in there. I like to give it a little twist just to make sure. There we go. And also what I like to do is I like to get my Kanthal ribbon sitting on top if I can. It's going to make it a lot easier when you start wrapping this up, okay? Well, it looks like the ribbon is almost where I want it. Whoa! That went too far. There we go. Spinny, spinny, spin. Okay, now it's where we want it. Okay, so now the important part of this is trying to keep these wires parallel to one another. If you don't do that, you're going to end up with kinks in your wire. So make sure that the Kanthal ribbon is sitting as parallel as possible to the round wire. Okay, so I take it, I pull it. Yeah, if you don't do this process, you're going to end up with kinks, and then it could break as you're twisting it, or you might have to cut that piece out because there'll be this little blockage in your coil, and you don't want that. So it's better just to, what's that saying, ounce of prevention? Just take the time right now to get it to where you want it to be, okay? Now I've gone ahead and twisted this before on this end. I think I'll try to do that again, but you might end up with, you know, little bulges in your wire. So let's just see if I can do that. I just want something to grip with the pliers here. I am just twisting up this wire. I don't like this at all, but maybe it will work. Need something to grip, and I can straighten this out. There we go. Alright. One more time. Get that where we want it. Get my pliers ready here. Okay. Now, if I can grip this, then we are in business. Okay, hopefully that stays where we want it and we start twisting. I'm keeping constant tension on the pliers. Now on the micro coil tutorial that I did, I twisted this until it broke. I don't want to do that with this. I just want to get it to where it looks completely twisted. I find if you go too far with this, that it just is not as pleasant a vape as you want it to be. So I'll just keep constant tension, keep twisting it until it looks all twisted up the way I want it to be. No high spots. It's getting there. I just see one that needs to keep going. The end closest to the pliers looks like it's done already. Whoa, Nelly. close. Oh, I do see a kink in it though. There's been a kink right here, so I might only be able to use this piece or this piece. So let's just see how that goes. Okay. So it looks good except for that one kink, and that's why it's so important to get these running parallel to one another. Okay, so that's it for the drill. Take a closer look. Maybe you can see the kink in there. Right there. Maybe you can't, but this is the consistency that you want this wire to be at. Just nice looking tiger coil. Okay, so that's it. So what I'm going to do here is, you can't really use that piece there, so I'm just going to cut that out. Should have a wire cutter here. Let's just cut that piece out now. I can use that for a single coil somewhere else. And I'm going to cut the other end here where it's kind of twisted up. Try and salvage as much of it as I can. Hocus pocus, hope it doesn't poke us in the eye. Alright, we are golden. We could start wrapping this. So let's do it. Now, I was going to do a macro coil on this one, dual coil, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. I don't want to do it super low ohms. I want it to be very sub-ohm, but I'll try a 2.4 millimeter screwdriver on this guy. And we'll start wrapping. We're going to wrap it on the Hcigar W4. Oh yeah. I've got 1/8 or 3 mil air holes drilled into this. I got a review coming up on the W4 fairly soon, hopefully in the weeks to come. And I've also drilled out my post holes a little bit just to get thicker wire in. This, you shouldn't need it though. This should be fine. So let's start wrapping. I'll leave a little bit of leg. I don't need much because it's going to go through the post holes pretty easily. So I'm just going to butt it up against the side of the screwdriver right here. Put my thumb on it and start twisting this bad boy up. There we go, side by side by side, alright? Three wraps. Go 4 wraps. Should I do a 5th one? We'll do a 5th one. And there's 5 wraps. Now we're good to start this on the other side. So I get it nice and close to one another, and I can jam this into the post holes now. I'm doing this from a mile away. I hope if I back these out a little bit more too. I just backed them out enough to get my my other coil out of there. Okay, so there we go. Woo, that was tough. Get my other leg through the negative. Just push this thing through. Might need a little bit of assistance when it's coming. You might need to tug on it with something. I'll grab, I can probably use tweezers to pull this through. Make sure your lock switch is on so you're not trying to fire this as you're pulling it through. I'm going to try and have this centered as much as I can. There we go, almost there. Almost there. There we go. Okay, now we can tighten up our positive. And do the same with the negative right now. And Bob's your uncle. Okay, I'm just going to pull that out of the way, that lead right there. I'm going to try and push this towards the center a little bit more. I like these coils centered. There we go. That's about where I want it. We could go ahead and check the resistance right now, but let's just wait till the end of this build. Okay, now that you have this other piece of wire that's sticking through the center post, I'm just going to pull up on it a bit, and then we're going to wrap around that. Oops. I'm going to take my screwdriver and I'm going to butt it right up against the posts. I'm going to try and wrap this as close to the posts as I humanly can. Okay, so here we go. Now when you're doing this, you might need to use, pliers or something to yank on this to kind of get it to where you want it. It's not the easiest thing wrapping this in this fashion. Okay, there's 3 wraps. Get that 4th one in there. Keeping tension on it. Okay, now we've got our 4 wraps, so we need a 5th one, right? Is that what we did? Now for this one, for the 5th one, we're not going to completely wrap it. We're going to take the end and push it through the post hole. I might need to pull this off camera a bit to get it in there. No. There we go. Now you might need some assistance. I can probably get away with using these tweezers for this. Yank that down. Make sure that this wrap does not go over top of your other ones. I just put my fingernail in here and give it a yank. Okay. Take a look at it. Make sure nothing is overlapping, which it's not. That's nice. Very, very nice. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is put some pressure against my screwdriver. I'm going to pull this just to make sure all of these wraps are tight. Okay. Just make sure it's nice and snug. Snug as a bug in a rug. Now, you can back this up a bit if you need it to be. You just want to make sure this is all symmetrical, right? And I think that's going to be fairly close. So now we can tighten down this lead. So when this lead's tightened down, I'm going to try and push that one towards the center a little bit as well, just like I did the other one. I got that trick from Light FM Vapor. He's got some really cool build tutorials as well. You should check them out. There's some good ones. There's macro coils and parallel coils. Him and Leo Shim do some really cool stuff. So check it out. Just gonna apply some force there. Make sure it's not touching the posts in any way or touching your build deck in any way at all. Back my driver out of here. And then just make sure everything's snugged up. Okay. Cat's crying in the other room, wants to come out. But her mommy won't let her. Okay, let's check the resistance on this and then we'll fire it. And then we'll pinch the coils together a bit, shall we? Alright. Why does this not want to go on here? Okay. So the resistance on this guy is going to be... It can't be right. 0.19. Alright. 0.19 on this guy. Make sure there's no shorts anywhere. It's looking good. 0.19 ohms. Very sub-ohmish. Alright, let's fire this. This thing's going to blow huge clouds off here. Okay. Just cooking off some of the old juice in there. Just pulse it and pinch it. Okay, we'll do the other side here. Trying to get them to heat up evenly. And there they're going, man. Wow. Beauty. Okay. So, should be firing relatively close to one another. Symmetrical. Let's wick this guy up. I'm going to cut these leads off. Actually, what I'm going to do is one more time I'm going to stick my screwdriver in here and just make sure that everything's where I want it. Okay, I'm going to pick that one up a bit. A little bit off the deck. And this one I'd like to push down. And this is your build, you know, like you could do whatever you want with it. Make sure you don't fire it while you're doing it. You could have a hard short. I got that where I want it. I'm going to clip these leads off here. Actually, before I do something silly, get in there, clip it off. These are good clippers, but they're sometimes they just don't want to clip like a knot. There we go. That one was in the center. So we'll try and do another pulse and pinch, see if anything's changed because I moved these around. That one's heating up a bit quicker. Give that a pinch. See how this goes. A little pinchy pinch. Want these to heat up evenly, obviously, right? This one's still getting a lot hotter. Oh, there it goes. That's better. I'm just going to check these connections and make sure that nothing's loosened off here. Oh yeah, beautiful. I don't know if you can see that. Very nice. Okay. So, I'll show you how I wick it really quick. Or if you just wanted to watch the build tutorial, then that is it for that. But this is how I wick. Take a piece of cotton ball, unravel it. I rip it into 3 different pieces. So this is a third of a cotton ball unraveled. Then I just kind of roll it slightly. I just want it to be able to go through the coils without, ripping apart. I don't want to really kill this because I want it to kind of retain its fluffiness. I want it to be able to breathe, so when I'm vaping it, there's no resistance against it. Just it allows the air to flow through, because if you're sub-ohming, that's one of the more important things, is good airflow, right? That's why everybody drills their air holes out and has fluffy cotton balls. Okay, I had some scissors. I clipped this long piece here. There we go. I'm just ending up with a ton of tools on the table here. Get out of here. You bother me, kid. Alright. So, I'll take this guy and I will start stuffing it in here. Let's give it a pull. If it's kind of gets too puffy to pull through, you just give it a little twist. Twist and pull. There we go. Should go in fairly easily. Some resistance, but not too much resistance. You don't want it to be too tight, or you're just not going to get proper flow of juice through it. Okay? Then I take the same piece and I push it through the other coil. Just going to make sure that that still has a little tip on it to go through. Push it through the coil and pull it through. There's that kink. Actually, I could probably pull that kink through. Here it comes. And I want to leave it kind of fluffy right here, but not too fluffy. Enough that there's airflow, but you don't want to hug that in too tight, right? And you don't want it to have this huge, big, fluffy chunk that's getting in the way when you try and close your cap up. Probably pull that just a little bit more, not much. You can do the back and forth method just to kind of fluff up that edge. Alright. And that side is done. Now we just got to figure out what we're going to do with these tails here. So, I'm going to give this a clip. Do the same on this guy. This one's not going to need as much. Alright, so I'm going to push this one out of the way for now. And this one is going to just go in between the posts and just slightly underneath the coil. Still trying to leave some fluffiness to it. And this one, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take some of it and I'm going to stuff it back underneath this coil. Same thing, trying to have airflow go through this. You don't want to jam it in too tight. Push that in there. Have this little puppy ear. This one could have a little bit more. Puff that up. That one's good. This one could use a little puffing. Come on there, buddy. Alright. I think we're in business. This thing is going to rock the Hcigar hard. So, we'll juice this guy up and see how she vapes. This is the UCAN I just caught. I'm kind of testing it out. I'll do a review on this too. I'll tell you what I think. I thought it was going to taste like machine oil when I got it at first, but it actually is pretty neat. I rinsed it with some warm water and I had no problems with it. So, but I'm still kind of getting used to this thing. Usually I just walk around with a 10 milliliter bottle, a little plastic bottle, and then just keep refilling it with whatever I'm vaping. Wow, that is good and juicy right now. A little bit underneath here. Still getting used to pushing this button. Like, I feel like it takes too much strength to push down on this UCAN, but maybe that'll work in with time. Okay, all juiced up. Let's see how she goes. The flavor on these coils is awesome. There we go. I could have put a fresh battery in here for you guys. Probably should have. I'm going to put a fresh battery in here and then we'll take a look and see how it vapes. Alright guys, hopefully that helped you out. We're putting a fresh battery in here. If you are doing this build and it's such a low resistance, make sure that you're using the proper batteries. I've got an Efest 30 amp battery here, so it will be able to handle the drain that this coil is putting on it. Okay, you can do this build with 28 gauge Kanthal and get a higher resistance, and it won't be chucking vapor like this one. So let's see how she rolls. So here it is. Got it all set up. Fresh battery. Vaping pretty even. Very nice. Alright, let's juice this thing up. Okay, you know what? Screw this UCAN right now. Not used to it. Throw some juice on there. And I like using the one piece of wire, single wire wrapped on both sides. I really like using one piece of wick right now. It just feels like it's more even to me, but who knows? In a month from now, I might, be singing a different tune. So here it is. The flavor you get from a Hcigar coil is just the best thing going on. You get the heat from the round wire, you get the flavor from the flat ribbon wire, you get the best of both worlds. Really nice warm vape, a lot of flavor. It just chucks so well, chucks clouds so well. Alright, so like I always say, butt out, vape up, and breathe easy. Know your limits and vape within it, and you'll have yourself a stellar day. So when I say know your limits and vape within it, that's, using the proper batteries, using an ohm checker to make sure that your coils are okay, you have no shorts, so you don't have a pipe bomb in your hand, okay? Make sure you are taking the necessary precautions, alright guys? Like the videos, like, comment, subscribe. It's maestrovapes somewhere here. That was the dual coil Hcigar coil with 24 gauge Kanthal. Hope you enjoy it. Have a good one. Because man, I'm enjoying this.